Hello friends, in continuation of the series on male retrograde urethrography, in this presentation I'll be touching upon how to opacify the urethra properly. And the learning objectives of this presentation will be, firstly, which contrast to use, and secondly, how to inject the contrast in the urethra. Which contrast to use? We use sodium meglumine diatrizoate. In an adult male urethra, you should take about 15 to 20 ml of contrast. In people who are well built, more robust, you can take little more contrast. Keep some margin for some spillover. And this contrast should be diluted by 30% for children and 50% in case of adults. We have not found any local or systemic complications as a result of injecting contrast in the urethra, even if there occurs some degree of extravasation. The second point is how to inject contrast in the urethra. There have been many ways of injecting contrast in urethra. In past, people had certain devices such as this one, which is known as Knudsen's clamp. This is a very old device. As you can see, there's a nozzle kind of thing in the front which fits into the granular urethra, and it has some length, and then you have a port through which you attach the syringe. The length was intended so that you keep your hand away from the radiation exposure field. This is Knudsen's clamp. This was very popular. This is still popular in some places. Then came this Brodny clamp, 1941, and you will see that there are 4 anchors to hold the glans penis. This is how, and when you push the plunger in, the introducing cannula protrudes out like this, and the 4 prongs will go all over the penis to grab it at the level of coronal groove. So this nozzle fits well into the urethra and there is no leakage of contrast. And that is how it will come in the picture on the male urethrogram. Then a clamp device was developed in 2009. This also has similar thing, that you ring kind of a clamp applied to the coronal groove, and then there is a mechanism to hold the feeding tube or cannula or catheter to introduce into the urethra. You will notice that the common idea behind all the 3 devices were to create a leakage-free mechanism to instill contrast in the urethra, one, and secondly, stabilize the penis properly, and thirdly, there should not be radiation exposure of the hands. So that's why these devices became popular, and there have been many more similar devices available in various countries. I'll not go into these devices, but I'm telling you now what are the currently practices, methods and current devices for contrast injection today. Many places use a syringe loaded with contrast, and its nozzle is directly introduced into the granular urethra, and you get a male urethrogram like this. You will see within the red circle a syringe and nozzle attached to the penis. The other way is to use an intravenous cannula instead of the syringe. This cannula is introduced into the external urinary meatus, and through the fossa navicularis it goes into the penile urethra. Now you will appreciate that in order to prevent leakage of contrast by the side of this cannula, you will have to tightly grip the glans penis. So as you can see here, the technician or the operator has grabbed the glans penis completely, so much so that even the entire fossa navicularis and some urethra proximal to fossa navicularis is squeezed, and the contrast is gone into the rest of the urethra. So now see what is the drawback. The drawback of using this cannula or the syringe nozzle is that the fossa navicular part of urethra and some part of the distal penile urethra is not visible in this technique. Some people use an infant feeding tube in place of the cannula, And here you can see an infant feeding tube. An infant feeding tube also has a similar drawback, that in order to prevent leakage of contrast by the side of the feeding tube, you have to grab the distal penis completely. I also want to share you some information about when you introduce the IV cannula or an infant feeding tube into the male penis, what precaution you should take. Now here is the anatomy of the male urethra, and you'll notice in distalmost portion in the glans there is a heart shaped area which is known as fossa navicularis, and this is called navicularis because navicular means boat shaped. So this fossa is a boat shaped fossa. Dorsally it has a recess which is called lacuna magna, also known as Guerine fossa or sinus of Guerine. When you introduce an infant feeding tube or an IV cannula and the tip of the cannula is dorsally directed like this, it will go into the sinus, Guerine sinus, and will make a puncture there, and it will bleed. And if you pierce little more, the sharp IV cannula will enter in the spongiosal tissue, right? And that's the kind of thing you can create. And when you inject contrast, contrast will go into the spongiosa instead of going into the urethral lumen. So the pictures that you create, either you get some kind of extravasation in the distalmost spongiosal area, the way it is seen here, or you get extravasation island as it is seen here, or you may even see some tracking of contrast from fossa navicularis. So you get these artifacts and minor complications if you are not knowing this part of anatomy of fossa navicularis. What precautions should you take? The infant feeding tube or the IV cannula, you want that to be located in the center of the urethral lumen. So when you introduce it, just be aware of this fact and keep the cannula directed towards the 6 o'clock, the floor of the urethra. And then you enter, you will in the urethral lumen, and when you inject contrast, contrast will go only in the urethral lumen, not in the spongiosal tissue. You can use a metallic nozzle in place of these fine tip tubes, and in metallic nozzle, of course, the degree of leakage by the side of cannula will be much lesser. The best thing to use is a Foley catheter, 8 French or 10 French Foley catheter, and you can inflate the balloon to completely occlude the urethra, the fossa navicularis. And then when you instill contrast in urethra, not even a drop will back leak because balloon has tamponaded the urethra completely. Now this is currently the most favored way of injecting contrast in the urethra, because when you inflate a balloon, it secures the catheter within the urethra, and when you tug it out a little bit, you can keep your hands away from the radiation field. So it gives you similar advantage what Knudsen's cannula used to give or what Brodney's clamp used to give. And it's a disposable device which doesn't have too much of cost. So that is the way you should apply the Foley catheter, and that is the way you should maintain the penile stretch. And when you inflate the balloon and tug the catheter, the same stretch can be retained and the same position of the penis can be retained. There's another way of injecting contrast in the urethra of any male patient, and this is known popularly by urethrography. Now, what is this auto? Auto is that the catheter, once inserted into the urethra and balloon inflated by 1.5 ml of water, the catheter is taped on the glans penis, and now the patient is asked to inject contrast into his own urethra himself. That's why the word auto. And when the patient introduces contrast, he can regulate the pressure, the speed of injection. If he has some problem, he can be slow. He can self-adjust, and therefore he can be more relaxed. His sphincters can be more relaxed, and urethral filling will be more appropriate. So some centers use this technique, urethrography. Thank you very much for watching this video. And friends, if you have any questions related to these topics, you can email me at my ID drdallela24@gmail.com, or else if you wish to see more videos, you can see them on the Dalila Academy of Urology. Thanks for your time.